Choices with Jeanette. Choices with Jeanette. Choices with Jeanette.
Welcome to Choices with Jeanette. I'm Jeanette Harris, and thank you so much for watching Choices with Jeanette. You know what? March 13th changed my life. March 13th, 2020 changed my life and changed a whole lot of other people's lives in the world. And we were producing a television show. Didn't know that that would be my last shows for a while for television. And I was just saying to someone the other day, I said, you know what? There's going to be some hard times coming. But I didn't think they were going to come in my lifetime. I was like, I be talking to people, I was like, I'm having my best life. I'm living my best life. But they're here, and they're here in my lifetime. And and I know there are times when you're saying to yourself, I wish daylight would come. And daylight comes, and you wish nighttime would come. And it's a fear that is in the hearts of people. And then there's the lackadaisicalness about it as well with some other people. I just want to express my condolences to anyone who's out there who's going through pain of death, even the pain of loss of any kind. It could be your job and you're confused and don't know which way you're going to go. I wanted to do this particular segment just to encourage you, to let you know this is temporary. All of this is temporary. It cannot last. We're going to get over this. And I just wanted to tell you a story about Jonah. Jonah, God had told Jonah to go to Nineveh and tell them, you know, they would live in all sully, as Jonathan says. And God told Jonah to go tell them what I'm going to do. And when Jonah went to tell them, he thought about it. And he said, you know what? I'm not going to tell them anything because God's going to repent and he's not going to really get them. I'm not going over there. But anyway, he got on the ship, he got on a boat, and he went to Tarshish, and instead of going to Nineveh. And then the men on the ship, after there was so much, you know, the ship being tossed to and fro, the men on the ship said somebody on this ship is not in good standing with their God. Who is it? So after they went around and checked with everybody, Jonah was in the lower part of the ship on the side. When he was on the lower part of the ship on the side, that's when he came back and they said, it's you. They told him to get off the ship. And so the men were okay. But God had prepared a well. He was in the well 3 days. He came out. He was like, okay, I'll go do what you told me to do. And he went and told them. But the funny part about it is the people repented. The people of Nineveh, which was a great, great city, repented. When they repented, the king of that city called a fast. And when he called that fast, he didn't eat. The people couldn't eat. And they didn't even let the animals eat for 40 days. And God saw that they had a repentant heart and God saw that they had a what am I doing? God saw that they had a repentant heart, and he changed what he was going to do with them. And that's what I'm thinking with America. I want to say, and I'm talking to believers. I'm not talking to you if you're not a believer. So you won't have to be offended by what I'm saying. But my believers, they're like my sisters and my brothers. So they'll understand what I'm saying. When something like this happens, I'm amazed. So on March 13th, when I was in the studio, they announced that we couldn't go to church Sunday. I was like, what? We can't go to church Sunday? Is that crazy? And so even when I was in the studio, a lady I had known for over 20 years, I was sitting up there here, shot a blank on her name, couldn't remember her name. And then no one called her name out. So I eventually said, I'm just going to have to roll with what I think it is. And I called the lady the wrong name. The lady turned to me real quick and she said, that's not my name. I said, I know, but it was on my mind. We can't go to church. Are you serious? And so I went home. That same night, I went home and called one of my friends, told her, come on, let's go over to our church. We're going to walk around. Our church is big. We're going to walk around our church and we're going to say, God has said he build a church and the gates of hell shall not prevail. And I was saying, that's exactly what he did. He has built this church and the gates of hell is trying to prevail. I said, God opens doors that no man can shut, and he'll shut doors that no man can open. I said, and how dare the devil, the blood of Jesus is against you. And so we walked around the building and we were saying all the scriptures we knew and praying, and I was huffing and puffing because I hadn't walked that hard in a long time, and my friend was walking so fast. And so we walked, it was drizzling out there, we didn't care. A few days later, I was talking to God about it, and I said, God, you don't miss us being in your church? And and everybody was walking around saying, well, we are the church, and we are. But he said, forsake not the assembling of yourselves together. It was like, he was like, I was like, Then I remember what he said. He said he had told us to go into all the world and preach the gospel. Were we doing that? Were we leading people to Christ? Were we telling people about Jesus? No, we were assembling ourselves, and we've been doing that a long time. But I knew one day was going to come. That's why I was saying that it's going to come to a point where Jonathan's generation is going to have to really get out there and tell people about Jesus. Now we've sat on the pews, looking all pretty and everything. I looked so cute one Sunday I was at church, and I was like, But it's more to it than that. He is interested in us going into all the world and preaching the gospel. And we have not been doing that. We have been coming in the building, sitting on the pews. You know what? You know how I know you've been doing it? Tell me how many people you've led to Christ in the last 10 years. Is it number 2 or is it 0? And that's not just you, it's all of us. And most of the time, I decide to go and lead somebody to Christ when I get mad at the devil. If he attacks my money or he attacks my business and does something like that, then I said, that's going to cost you 2 souls. I'll be right back, Jonathan. I'm going to get me 2 souls. Leave my business alone. And that's what I want us to do now. I want us to, and I've already done it, and I'll do it again. I've been asking people, will you just repent? Y'all know we haven't been doing what we're supposed to do. We haven't. We have been going to church, but the church ain't even grew. Some churches' membership is totally down. So we have not been going out preaching the gospel. We got all kind of reasons. And when I said to myself, we're probably telling God, we're doing the best we can. We doing a lot of good stuff. We got good. He said we tell him we're busy, and he might ask us, busy doing what? Well, we have singles night at our church, and we have married night at our church, and we have drug abuse night at our church, and we have all these different organizations and all these different programs in our church. But those, if the people come, then we have them there for them. But as far as us going out into the communities and being able to reach people like we're supposed to, we're not doing it. And that's our first commission, and that is the Great Commission. So we're gonna have to do it. So this is a good time for believers to repent. I want to get back in my church. I enjoy it. I love seeing my pastor online, but I like being in the atmosphere. My son gets to be in there because he's recording. But I want to get back in my church. So I'm telling you, one thing the devil doesn't want, and he's getting more and more arrogant. Let me tell you, he's getting more and more arrogant. Today on TV, I was looking at it, and what I see, dead bodies. They showing dead bodies. We didn't do that in America. Mexico does that, show dead bodies on the doggone TV. We don't do that in America. They were showing dead bodies on pews. They were showing dead bodies on the floor. That's crazy. You too arrogant, devil. You too arrogant. And he's going to get more arrogant. And when he gets arrogant, that's when we stand up and say, you won't do it here. That's what David did. How dare you come against the armies of the living God? That's what he told Goliath. How dare you do that? How dare you put dead bodies and people got to walk in there and see a sign and find out if their parents or if their parents are in there can't go see their parents because they in isolation and ICU and all those kinds of things, and we're begging for masks and we're begging for ventilators and all that kind of stuff. Let me tell you something, because I believe it's God and the medicine, God and the doctors. And I believe that if we as the believers cover our end, if they over there working till they don't know what else to do. They're crying. Some of them haven't seen their children. We need to work that same way. We need to get out. And if you can't get out, because some of us are on stay at home, especially if you have a pre-existing condition that could cause you to be susceptible to the coronavirus or the COVID-19. If you're that person, there are other ways to do it. You got a whole phone book of people. I got 4,000 people in my phone. You can call everybody on your phone. You can send out everybody in your Facebook. You don't even have to ever leave home. Tell them about Jesus. Because if one of them gives their life to Christ, if one of them gives their life to Christ, it's worth it all. It's worth it all. We can whoop. I'm telling you, I've been in business over 30 years. And I've had some ups and I've had some downs. But when the devil would come against my business, when the devil would come against my son, when the devil would come against my family, that's what I would do. I'd say, that's going to cost you. That's going to cost you. I'm going to tell somebody about the Lord right now. I'm going to do something to knock your kingdom down. And believe you me, he hurry up. I'm talking about the devil. Hurry up and leave me alone, because he doesn't want you to get nobody saved. And we can't be laying down and let him do what he want to do. Get up. Get up. You may not be able to leave your house, but you don't. We're living in a day, and this is the best time. We're living in a day and a time where all you got to do is pick up your phone, turn your computer on. We're just gonna have to have a balance. We can still go in the building, but we're gonna have to also go into all the world and preach the gospel. Repent. Tell God you're sorry. We've been dressing and looking all cute in there, and then didn't bring nobody to church with you. Didn't bring nobody. Just passed up your neighbor, barely spoke to him on the way out the door. I know we all need to repent. We all need to repent. So that's what I'm asking you to do. And it's simple. You have the people you can contact. Contact some people. He doesn't want us to get the world saved. That's what we need to make a commitment to get the world saved. And I'm not calling for a day when we do it. I'm saying this is what we need. The minute you hear this, you need to repent, and then you need to start, and you need to not stop until he calls you home. You can do it. We don't need to lose another person. How dare he do this? How dare you come against the armies of the living God? I mean business. Let me pray for you. Father God, we forgive. And then other things, forgive. If I'm not going to add the forgiveness in on this particular segment, but if you haven't heard my CD or my YouTube video on forgiveness, watch that. Forgive people, repent so God can forgive you. And then go out and win souls. Go into all the world and preach the gospel. He said, if my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and turn from their wicked ways and seek my face, I'll heal their land. God can do it just like that. Just like it came in, I knew March 13th, my life had changed. I can wake up another day and say, my life has changed again, because he can heal our land just like that. Okay? So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And you're welcome to call me, and you're welcome to contact me. That's my email address on the bottom of the screen. And you're welcome to contact me. I'd love to talk to you.